Welcome back to Cryptocurrency Theory. Chadwick here. Let's jump into it. Zcash is on the rise today, guys. It is up 25 percentage points. And anybody in the financial world is obviously watching the crypto markets climb today. We've seen a broader crypto market push this Monday, but specifically Zcash is on the radar. It's on my radar because, as we know, at the end of last year, Zcash was the best performing coin. It blew every other coin, every other fashion YouTube crypto person anybody on Twitter X. It blew all these predictions out the window in terms of the price gains that we saw last year on Zcash. And then at the beginning of the year, we saw a pullback. We saw a lot of people try to explain why. Most of them on Twitter X, I'm not over there, but I can imagine they were explaining it to you wrong here. So here on the channel, I like to take a step back and really examine the tokenomics that are causing the market cap to rapidly increase in price. So if you're new to the channel, guys, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Zcash, by definition, has all the tokenomics. It has everything that Bitcoin has, but it has all the better stuff that Bitcoin does not have. All right. It has 21 million coins. It's got a little over 16 million in circulating supply. It's got a 50% diminishing block reward of miners every 4 years. I believe the last halving was 2024. And on top of all that stuff, it has all the things that Bitcoin lacks. It's a privacy coin. It offers full privacy, while kind of being a privacy coin that you can still use into your accounting. Like if you have a CPA, there is a way that you can actually still include Zcash, unlike other privacy coins like Monero. So that's another thing that it has. There's a way that you can strategize your portfolio and buy into this Zcash narrative, because it definitely is something to keep on your radar. And a lot of people kind of wonder, well, like what is so good about Zcash all of a sudden? All these YouTubers, they flip-flop to various coins. I've been in crypto almost 9 years, and we've been talking about Zcash for the last 4 years. I've had this channel. We talked about it at $20. We talked about it at almost $800. We're going to continue to talk about it. And, for people that are interested, we're going to keep talking more about it and fill your mind with good ideas about it. So first off, people that are in the crypto community, including myself, that have been in here for a while, they love Zcash. Ask the founder of Ethereum. Ask Vitalik Buterin what he thinks about Zcash. Ask Charles Hoskinson what he thinks about Zcash. Also Cardano has made that little side that side chain midnight here recently too, which is kind of tying into this narrative as well. Ask Zuku Wilcox. Ask the people from MIT, Johns Hopkins University, Edward Snowden. Ask any of these people whether or not they support Zcash. And if you don't know who those people are, I definitely recommend you go down a rabbit hole tonight to find out exactly who those people are and why it's so important in the grand scheme of things. Because, guys, crypto is it's a growing market, but it's still relatively small in comparative to like the Forex market, the stock market, the commodities market, the futures market, but it is growing incredibly rapidly. So what that does here for people that are watching and that are on the channel, it presents an opportunistic factor that pretty much 99% of the coins don't have to offer you. It offers tokenomics, which guarantees there's going to be a scarcity. And that scarcity will actually start taking place. It already is, but more into like the 2032 and upwards range, when most of the Zcash is going to be experience zero inflation. And then also with all the tokenomics I mentioned earlier, we also have to learn, is Zcash an opportunistic moment today at, a little bit under $300 US? And I say yes, but I also remind everybody, let's actually look at the market cap behind Zcash. So Zcash market cap, I believe, is a little over 3 billion. It went up to, I think, around 9 billion at its peak last year. It came down considerably, but a lot of cryptos did as well. It's up against Bitcoin several 100% over the last year. So meaning if you had Bitcoin and you went into Zcash over the last year, you now have a lot more Bitcoin if that is your strategy, because you hear a lot of people on YouTube thinking that Bitcoin is the only coin that's going to exist into the future. So I don't ask you guys to buy into the Zcash narrative. What I do ask you to look at is the tokenomics and whether or not Zcash is valuable and has room to grow at a little bit over a $3 billion market cap. It's not even a top 10 coin. If you look at bigger coins that have hit $100 billion market caps, even a $10, $20 billion market cap, even if you look at market cap equivalents on coins such as Dogecoin, you know, the top 10 coins, for the most part, we vet here on the channel, you know, with the exception of maybe Tether and a few stable coins. We're vetting for Dogecoin. We're vetting for Cardano and all these top 10 coins. But what we also are looking at is, do we want to place ourselves in coins that are going to potentially experience massive growth? And I know that I am. And with Zcash, I do expect there to be massive growth, simply because when we first started talking about Zcash, we were literally under 300 million. We're sitting up 10x from that point, and we're still only at a little bit over a $3 billion market cap, which in the grand scheme of the financial world, that is pretty damn small in the grand scheme of things. It might sound like a lot of money to me or you, but it's a very small sliver of what the potential Zcash has to increase in price to potentially, I think, 100 billion plus market cap would be conservative for a coin that offers the type technology and the type of computer software that the ZEC token possesses in the right hands. So also another thing that I do want to remind you about, guys, is that the Zcash price is not only a lot of room to grow, the Zcash price has already climbed a lot. So what that does a lot of times is when investors, they come in and they look at the crypto markets and they say, what is the new thing? You know, where should I place my money to experience growth? They see that data point as a potential bad thing, right? Because it's already up so much 100%. Why would I want to, you know, come into an investment when it's already up so many 100%? But if we kind of step back a little bit and look at what people from Binance have been saying, CZ and other prominent crypto figures that have been going against this crypto winter that has kind of been kind of a narrative over the last month or two. If we look at things being in a super cycle mode rather than a bearish crypto winter mode, a super cycle can actually cause coins that have experiencing volatility going into the super cycle to be some of the best performing coins of the super cycle. And let me explain further. Last year, the entire crypto market went sideways. Most people lost money in crypto. They lost money on XRP. They lost money on Bitcoin. They jumped in at a Bitcoin price at 100, 120. And by the time we were, you know, at the beginning of the year, going into February, they were down 50+%. Now, what did happen last year, substantially different, was Zcash barreled up over 1,000%. All right. You had every YouTuber that had not mentioned Zcash for years. They did not mention any of the fashion YouTube crypto YouTubers, Twitter X people. Zcash was completely off of their radar. And here on the channel for the last 5 years, we've been into the Zcash community, watching it develop new technologies, watching it progress the technologies that drive the tokenomics we mentioned earlier in the video. So people are looking at this coin saying, you know, it's already up this 100%, you know, this several 100%. I don't know. It seems a bit too risky to jump in on that kind of thing. And a lot of times, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Usually it's not wise to get in on any type of investment that's up several 100%. But what I'm trying to remind you guys is, if we look at the super cycle theory of the cycle theory rather than the bear market cycle theory of a crypto winter, Zcash experienced the most volatility. It experienced the biggest narrative push. It changed the narrative of the crypto ecosystem as a whole. Just in the last year run, we saw Horizon jump. We saw other privacy coins, privacy-focused coins like Dash, which I made a video a week or two back. How now Dash is introducing a layer 2 that is going to implement Zcash shielded pools, which is one of the main things that drives the privacy narrative. We saw Cardano launch the Midnight sidechain privacy network. We saw Monero climb as well. So we saw a culmination of different things that were privacy focused out of that Zcash push at the end of last year. And then we saw Zcash retract back, right? We saw it go down to under $200 just a week or two ago. So my point is if we're looking at things from a super cycle crypto theory, right, a cycle theory, then we're assuming that that narrative being such a prominent thing by the end of last year, it maybe that looking at a coin like Zcash already being up several 100% for the last year, it might not seem so unrealistic to get in when it's just sitting at a little over $3 billion market cap, and it's just sitting in at a little bit under 300 US dollars. And then also what was really interesting is how every YouTuber was talking about it's time to short Zcash at $500. And what happened, guys? Zcash went back up to over $700. And then none of those YouTubers, all those mainstream fashion crypto YouTubers that are on the internet talking, they're simply just talking, guys. They're not actually telling you anything valuable because they never said anything else when it rose up. And then when it crashed, they were, nowhere to be found either because they didn't know what they were really talking about. So with Zcash at the current prices, guys, I'm not telling you guys to go out and remortgage your house to buy Zcash, but it's definitely on our radar. And it's not something that we're going to like talk about today and forget when the price is down. We're going to continue to build out stuff for you here on the channel that you can reference. And everything I say, guys, I implore you to cross-reference and check for yourselves to guarantee that what we're saying to you is accurate. That way you can build out a portfolio that is based on tokenomics rather than just the hope and facade of a marketing campaign on Twitter X or some YouTuber like Cryptos or Us or Altcoin Daily telling you to buy SWE or any of these other coins that have inflation-ridden tokenomics behind them that are just VC-backed coins waiting to dump. All right, I'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care.